Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Thank you for getting started right away. Now, the agenda is posted. You should be working on that. And I'm going to put a timer for 4 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and time this lesson because I need to record it and leave it. So make sure everybody's on task. You have the warm-up, so there's nothing to copy. The only thing you're going to copy is the agenda. Thank you for getting started, please. Go. Extra credit. Guys, you can start it, please. Guys, really? Three minutes. Got about 1 minute left for the warm-up. Bless you. All right, here we go. Number 1, it says solve for y. So in order to solve for y, we need to leave y by itself and get rid of the 12x. Is that correct? So therefore, we subtract 12x from each side, subtract 12x from each side. We're left with 6y equals negative 12x plus 30. Are we done? No, we have a 6 multiplying. So what is the inverse of multiplying 6? Divide by 6. Divide by 6. 6 over 6 is 1. Y equals, what is negative 12x divided by 6? Negative 2x. 30 divided by 6, that's positive 5. Did we solve for y? Yes, we're done. Okay? Let's look at number 2. Let's write our equation. Once again, to write an equation, just write y equals blank x blank. If it's multiplying or dividing, you write it here. If it's adding or subtracting, you write in here. So we go. Let's see. It was negative 1, it became negative 6. 0, it became 0. 1, it became 6. 2, it became 12. Who saw that it's being multiplied by 6? Okay, if it's being multiplied by 6, the 6 goes here. So my equation is y equals 6x. Number 3, find the slope. Now you can pick any 2 points. I'm going to pick, let's see, this one. That coordinate is, let's see, negative 1 of x, negative 2 of y, negative 1 of x, negative 2 of y. And I'm going to pick this one over here. And that one is, let's see, 2 of x, and 4 of y. So to find my slope, remember the map? I said, okay, I'm over here at the high school. I'm going to send the lady over here to Frank Wright. So lady, you need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps up. And then from there, they're going to take, let's see, 1, 2, 3 to the right. So my slope, what was my rise? 6, and my run was 3. If we simplify that, that becomes 2 over 1. I need you to leave it as a fraction, 2 over 1. Yes?
Does it matter what number it takes?
It doesn't matter because at the end when you reduce, who picked different points? And who got the same slope? Everyone, right? It doesn't matter which points you pick. At the end, the slope will be the same. Because the last step is what? Simplify. Remember that? All right, so with that said, get your Cornell notes in front of you, please. Cornell notes. Our objective for today, I can write and graph a linear equation using slope and y-intercept. I can write and graph a linear equation using slope and y-intercept. Let's read together. 1, 2, 3. I can write and graph a linear equation using the slope and y-intercept. Well, we're going to continue. We're still on linear equations, 2 variable. The only thing today, we're going to write them in a different form. Yesterday, we did direct variation. Today, we're going to be doing slope-intercept form. Okay? So you have this written on the bottom left of your Cornell notes. With red, if you have a red pen, circle or underline with red, the red letters, and circle underline with green, the green letters. So, we already know what slope is, we already know what linear equations are, but what is slope-intercept form? Here it goes. I give you guys a Freyer model. In the Freyer model, I wrote slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, a special type of linear relationship that can be written in the form y equals mx plus b. So therefore, look at this form. Everybody look up to the screen. Y equals mx plus b is known as slope-intercept form. I introduced this, I think, last week, right? So check this out. The m stands for the slope, and the plus b stands for the intercept. And we know now that the plus b is a constant known as the y-intercept. Everybody with me? So once again, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. 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 Tell your neighbor the slope-intercept form. Okay, so I gave you guys some examples. Here they go. Example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, you guys have these, right? Everybody look up to the screen, please. Does this equation look like this form? Look at it. Yes, the y is on the same spot, the equal sign on the same spot, the x in the same spot, the plus, and this one has the 1 here. However, it doesn't have a number where the m goes, but we know that there's an invisible what? 1. So my slope for this one is what? What is my slope? 1. And what is my y-intercept? 1. Okay, let's look at this one. Same form, y equals 3x minus 2. So now, what is my slope? 3. What is my y-intercept? Negative 2. Notice here that I included the plus b, so therefore here I include the what? Minus 2. So check this out, so that you remember with red, do this. Minus 2, so that you know that this is the what? The y-intercept. The y-intercept is the plus b. Y-intercept is negative 2 on this one, okay? And with green, we know that green is what? The slope, so therefore this one is 3. So far so good? All right, let's go to the next equation. Let's see, let's look at this one. Y equals negative 2x plus 3. Think about it. Which is my slope and which is my y-intercept? Tell your neighbor. Okay, so slope is what? Negative 2. My y-intercept is positive 3. Let's look at this one. What is my slope? 3/4. What is my y-intercept? Negative 5. And let's look at this one. Even though it's flipped, but it's still in the same order, isn't it? What is my slope? 5. 5 is the coefficient of x. Notice here, the coefficient of x is the slope. So 5 is the slope and 2 is the y-intercept. However, look at this last example. What is it missing? The y-intercept. So if it doesn't have one, this is what you're going to do with red. You're going to write plus 0. Plus 0. Whenever it does not have a y-intercept, what are you going to write? Plus 0. Okay? So far so good? All right. So now that we have our examples, let me give you some non-example. Copy this, please. 4x plus 2y equals 8. 4x plus 2y equals 8. Y equals 3 minus 2x. Y equals 3 minus 2x. And y minus 5 plus 3/4 x. Y minus 5 plus 3/4 x. Okay. So let's see. Pens down, eyes up here, please. Okay. Here we go. Look at these. These are all in this form. This one is not in that form and it has a different name. This one is a different form. Okay? Look at this one. This one is very similar. Look at this. It's very similar to this one, but not quite. And look at this one. Very similar to this one, but not quite. Think about it. Why do you think, being that these are the examples and this is the slope-intercept form, why are these non-examples? Okay, tell your neighbor, why are these non-examples? Why are those non-examples? All right, I'll take a volunteer. All right, yes? All right, let's see. So for this one, they told us that the numbers before the variable, and which one needs to come first here? The x. Notice these all have the x first and then the number at the end, doesn't it? So this one, it's only a y form, but it's not slope-intercept form because it's switched. How about this one? Same thing, right? They're switched. However, look at this one. This one is non-example because, yes, in the back. Because it's not solved for y, and we have both variables on the same side. Who remembers the name of this form? Who remembers the name of this form? When both variables are on the same side. No. This is standard form. standard form with both variables are on the same side. So things to remember about slope-intercept form. Number one, it's a two-variable y-form equation. Write that down. And number two, that it is written in it is written with the slope first and the constant, which is the number, the constant last. And what is the constant? The y-intercept. The y-intercept. Write that down, please. Listen. All right. So with that said, let's go to the steps. Oh, sorry. Let's go back then. Nancy, if you need more time, okay? 30 seconds. All right, let's go to the steps. I gave you 4 basic steps. Here we go. Circle these words so that you can remember the steps. Step 1, we need to solve for y. How we've been doing that for all the other ones, yes? Solve for y. Second thing on the first step, we need to write the equation in what form? Slope-intercept form. So step 1, solve for y, and then write an equation in slope-intercept form. Step 2, identify, also circle the word plot, and underline y-intercept. We're going to identify and plot the y-intercept. Step 3, identify and use the slope to plot. And what are we going to plot? Points at the end. And what do we do at the end? Once we have all our points, we're going to graph. We're going to graph. Okay? So once again, 4 easy steps. Step 1, we're going to solve for y and write the equation in slope-intercept form. Step 2, identify and plot the y-intercept. Step 3, identify and use the slope to plot points. And step 4, graph. Step 1, solve for y and write a slope-intercept form equation. Step 2, identify and plot your y-intercept. Step 3, identify and use the slope to plot points. And step 4, graph your line. Step 1, solve for y and write a slope-intercept form equation. So step 1, solve for y and write a slope-intercept form equation. Step 1, solve for y and write a slope-intercept form equation. Step 1, solve for y and write a slope-intercept form equation. Step 1, solve for y and write a slope-intercept form equation. Step 2, identify and plot the y-intercept. 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 Step 3, identify and use the slope to plot points. 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 And step 4, graph. At the end, we just graph our line. So let's see 4 steps. Step 1, solve for y and write a slope-intercept form equation. Step 2, identify and plot your y-intercept. Step 3, identify and use the slope to plot points. Step 4, graph your line. Okay, tell your neighbor the steps, please. All right. So I see that everybody mastered these steps, so I'm not going to pick anyone for today. I'm just going to move forward. Yeah, I know. All right. Oh, you want me to pick one at least? All right, one person. Here we go. Okay, let's get Amy. Amy. The steps. Step 1. Solve for y and write an equation in slope-intercept form. Step 2. And plot your y-intercept. Step 3. And use your slope to plot points. And step 4, graph. Wow. Man, she knew it like right off the bat. Okay, here we go. Let's continue. So with that said, we got the steps. We know what slope-intercept form looks like. So copy this step down on your graph paper. I mean, this problem down on your graph paper. Get that in front of you. Example number 1. However, just a quick reminder, everybody look up to the screen. Make sure whenever you see a slope, if it's an integer, you need to write it in a fraction form, because we're going to need the slope in fraction form to graph our line. Okay? All right, let's continue. Example 1. Example 1A. Copy this, please, at the top left. Use that first problem at the top left. Yeah, you should have the blank space at the top only of your paper. Look at the coordinate plane. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Write the first problem. It says, write an equation and graph the line given the slope and y-intercept. Write that down, please. Remember, for this first one, we're going to write the entire text and not for the rest. So it says, write an equation and graph the line given the slope and y-intercept. Slope is equal -2/5, semicolon, and y-intercept equals 4. Copy that. I'll give you guys 20 seconds. Yeah, that's easy to copy. All right, here we go. I'm going to go over this example first, and I need you guys to really focus, or else you're going to get lost from the very beginning. Okay, so pens down, writing utensils down, eyes up here on the screen. Here it goes. Pens down, pencils down, writing utensils down. Here you go. So, in order to address what it says, write an equation and graph the line given the slope and y-intercept. Do they give us a slope? Yes. Do they give us a y-intercept? Yes. So to write an equation, everybody look up, please. This is what we write. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. That's what we write. Because what is this form? Slope-intercept. Are we there so far? So now, do they give me a slope? Yes. The slope is right here. And I know that my m stands for slope, so I'm going to write it right underneath there, -2/5. And do they give me a y-intercept? Yes, it's a +4, so I'm going to write it right underneath this one because that's my y-intercept, so I'm going to write +4. And I just bring everything else down. Y equals, and the x, and this is my equation. Copy that, please. All right. So it says, write an equation. So did I write an equation? Yes. Second thing, graph the line given the slope and y-intercept. So let me see. Let me go back to my steps. Let's see what my steps say. Step 1, solve for y, or write a slope-intercept form equation. Did I do that? Yes. Step 2, identify and plot the y-intercept. So check this out. Step 2, what is my y-intercept? Positive 4. Everybody look up to the screen. You're just paying attention. My y-intercept is positive 4, so I'm going to go to the y-axis. I'm going to go look for the y-axis at positive 4. Where's that at? Right here. And I plot my point. Pen this down. You're just paying attention. Wow. Next, that was step 2. Identify and plot the y-intercept. Did I do that? Yes. Step 3, identify and use the slope to plot points. So check this out. Where's my slope? Right here, -2/5. So check this out. Since it's a negative, instead of going up, it means it's going which way? Down. So I'm going to go, check this out. 2 steps down, 5 to the right. So check this out. From here, I'm going to do 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I land there and I plot my point. From that point, I do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5. And I plot my other point, and you're just paying attention. And then once I have those points there, all I have to do is graph my line. I'm going to graph that with a red line through those points, nice and straight. And let's see. Did we write an equation? Yes. Did we graph the line? Yes. Did we use the y-intercept and the slope? Yes. Copy that, please. Very good question. Do we need to have at least 3 points? Yes. You need to have the y-intercept and at least 2 more after that. You need to have at least the y-intercept plotted and 2 more after that. Tell your neighbor what I just said. You guys have your rulers. Make sure you're sketching your lines nice and straight. Make sure they have arrows at the end of the line, or else it's not a line, it's a line segment. Arrows at the end of the line. If you don't, it's not a line, it's a line segment. So let me go over the steps to make sure I got this. Step 1, I wrote my y equals mx plus b formula, right? My form. And I just substitute the slope and the y-intercept to write my equation. Did I do that? Yes. Step 2, from there, I went and identified the y-intercept and I plotted my y-intercept on the y-axis, which is positive 4. Step 3, identify the slope and use the slope to plot points. Did I do that? Yes. And at the end, I graph my line. So far, so good? All right. So therefore, that's example 1A. Copy this next one on the next graph paper. On the next coordinate plane, example 1B, and you do this one by yourself. For this one, you don't have to copy the entire text. Just copy the slope and y-intercept, since you already have the instructions right. See if you can do this one by yourself. We already did one together. See if you can do this one by yourself. I'll give you guys a little bit of time, and then I'll go over it. Go. Okay, let's see. Step 1 says, solve for y or write a slope-intercept form equation. Do we have an equation? No, we need to write one. So therefore, my form is y equals mx plus b. That's the first step. Can we substitute values in there? Yes. What is my slope? 4, so that goes right here. What is my y-intercept? -6, so it goes right here. I bring everything else down. The y, the equals, the x, and I'm done. Hands if you got up to right there. Okay. So now that we have an equation, that was step 1. Step 2, identify your y-intercept and plot the point. So what is my y-intercept? -6. So let's look at the y-axis. Where's -6 at? Right there. I plot my points. Step 3, identify the slope. Remember, we need to write it as a fraction. So this becomes what? 4/1. So therefore, this tells us from this point, we're going to go how many? 4 up and 1 to the right. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 to the right. From this point, we do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 to the right. And I'm going to do one more from this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 to the right. And with your ruler, you sketch your line nice and straight, like mine. There it is. Bam. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay, let's do another one. Here we go. Copy this one down on your next graph paper. This is example 1C. 1C. There it is. See if you can do that one completely by yourself. Piece of cake? Yeah. A tres leches piece of cake? No? Okay. All right, here we go. So, step 1. Solve for y or write a slope-intercept form equation. Do we have an equation? No. So you write your form. Y equals mx plus b. So, from there, do they give us a slope? Yes. What is my slope? 2. So we write that right there. What is my y-intercept? -3. That goes right here. And I bring everything else down. Y equals 2x minus 3. There's my equation. Did we write our equation? Yes. Step 2, identify your y-intercept and plot your point. -3 is right here on the y-axis. Step 3, identify your slope and use the slope to plot your point. What is my slope? 2/1. Remember, it needs to be in fraction form. So therefore, I go 2 up and 1 to the right. So I go from here 1, 2, and 1 to the right, and I plot my point. I do it again from this point. 1, 2, and 1 to the right. I'll do it again. 1, 2, 1 to the right. And if I continue, let's see. 1, 2, 1 to the right. 1, 2, 1 to the right. 1, 2, 1 to the right. And then from there, last step, we graph our line, nice and straight. About right there? No? Still off? There it is. Yeah. No, as long as you continue with the same fraction. All right, last one of these. Copy this next one down, please. Here goes. Example 1B. And by now you should be able to do this one by yourself. What? And they did you guys a favor. This one already has the slope and fraction form. All right, let's see. We write our equation first, so we write y equals mx plus b. And what is my slope? Negative 2/3. And my y-intercept is positive 1. And I bring everything else down. The y, the equals, and the x. Do we have my equation already? Yes. Okay, step 2, identify and plot your y-intercept. What is my y-intercept? Positive 1. So I look at my y-axis. This is my y-axis, so positive 1 is right here. From there, I'm going to use the slope. What kind of slope is it? It's a negative. So instead of going up, I'm going down. How many steps? 2 and 3 to the right. So I go from here 1, 2, and 3 to the right. 1, 2, and 3. From that point, I do it again. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3. From that point, I do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. My graph should look something like that, nice and straight. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay? So, pretty simple, right? All right. So now, this is when they ask you to write an equation. Do you know what to do if they ask you to write an equation? Didn't we just write an equation? Okay. Do you know what to do if they ask you to graph? Yes. All right. So now, just in case you didn't know how to write an equation, write this next problem down. Example number 2A. And write this one on your Cornell notes. On your Cornell note. This one we're not going to graph. We're just going to write an equation. And for this one, you do need to write the entire problem. It says, example 2A, write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form, where the slope is 1/4 and y-intercept is 4. Write the entire thing, please. Write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form, where the slope is 1/4 and the y-intercept is 4. Yes. Okay, here we go. So, they're asking to write an equation. So pretty much just step 1. Do we have an equation? No. Do we know the form of the slope-intercept form equation? Yes. Y equals mx plus b. What is my slope? 1/4. It goes here. What is my y-intercept? 4, and it's a positive, so you write positive 4. And you just bring everything else down. Y equals 1/4 x plus 4, and we're done. Tweezy. Let's do another one. Example 2B. For this next one, you don't need to copy the text. Just write the slope and the y-intercept and write your equation. See if you can do this next one by yourself. There it is. The slope is -9. The y-intercept is -5/4. They're not asking to graph. They're just asking to write it the equation. Stop messing with my rulers. Ow. Okay, show your neighbor your equation. See if they have something similar to yours. If not, slap them by now, please. No, just kidding. No slapping. Okay, let's see. All right, here we go. So, I saw some of you did this. Y equals mx plus b. My y-intercept is, my slope is -9. That goes here. My y-intercept is -5/4. That goes here. So my equation is y equals -9x minus 5/4. Let me rewrite it down here. -9x minus 5/4. And we're done. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay? Yes? Here, since they're not asking us to graph it, we don't need to write it in fraction form for the slope. Until you're about to graph it, guess what? You need to write it in what? Fraction form. Everybody got it? All right, here we go. Let's continue. Copy this one down. Example 3A. 3A. You don't need to copy the information. Copy just slope and copy the point. In this one, you do not know how to do. I'm going to show you how to do this one. So copy this info, the slope and the point. Oh, sorry. All right, here we go. Pens down, eyes up here. Here he goes. So notice that this one, they do not give us a y-intercept, do they? No, they don't. However, they do give us a slope. So therefore, we still need to start with our slope-intercept form. So I write y equals mx plus b. And right now, you're just paying attention. Please. So I have my first piece of information, which is my slope. That goes right here. However, I do not have a y-intercept, but I do have other information, don't I? In a point, what value is this? X. And what value is the other one? Y. So can we substitute that in there in order to solve for my b? Yes. So what is my x? 3. I write that in here in a parentheses. What is my y? 4. And I bring everything else down. Check this out. Equal the plus and the b. So what is 2 times 3? 6. I bring everything else down. 4 equals 6 plus b. To solve for b, what do I need to do here? Subtract 6. Subtract 6. We're left with -2 equals b. So now, do we have a slope? Do we have a y-intercept? Now we can write our equation. Here it goes again. Y equals mx plus b. My slope, we said, is 2. And my y-intercept, we said, is what? -2. So my equation is y equals 2x minus 2. Copy that, please. All right, example 3B. So this is the first one. We'll do the next one together just to make sure we got this. Here we go. 3B. You don't have to copy all the verbiage. Just copy the slope. What is the slope? 8. And what is my point? 3, negative 1. Copy those two things of information. All right, so let's do this one together. Since I don't have an equation, I write my slope-intercept form, right? Okay, so what is it? Y equals mx plus b. All right? What information do they give us? The slope. That goes where? Right there. Do they give us an x value? Yes, it's 3. Do they give us a y value? Yes, it's negative 1. So therefore, I bring everything else down, the equal, the plus, and the b. So what is 3 times 8? 24. I bring down the negative 1, the equal, the plus b. So to solve for b, what do? I get rid of the 24 by subtracting 24. Subtract 24. We're left with negative 25 equals b. So now, do we have a slope? Do we have a y-intercept? Yes, now we can write our equation. Here it goes. Y equals mx plus b. Instead of m, I'm going to write 8. Instead of b, I'm going to write what? Negative 25. And I just bring down the rest. Y equals 8x minus 25. Hands if you got that. Okay. Let's do one more of these. One more of these. Here it goes. Copy this one. This one is example super Q. Example super Q. Example SQ. The slope is, okay, negative 2. And my point, let's do, all right, negative 4, 8. Okay, write your equation, please, given that information. All right, let's see. First steps first, you write y equals mx plus b. Substitute the slope, which is what? Negative 2. What is my x value? Negative 4 goes here, so I open up parentheses. What is my y value? 8. Hold on. We got plus b. What is negative 2 times negative 4? Positive 8. Bring down the b equals to 8. To solve for b, we divide by 8. Divide by, oh, subtract 8, my bad. Subtract 8. Subtract 8. We're left with b equals 0. So therefore, y equals mx plus b. What goes here? Negative 2. What goes here? plus 0. So this becomes y equals negative 2x plus 0, or y equals negative 2x. So homework is on page 294 to 295, numbers 1 through 35 odd. Turn in your homework on your way out, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.